Bear Bryant was the legendary football coach of Alabama from 1958 to 1982. He won 6 national championships and accrued 323 wins. It was almost as if he could win with any caliber of player. In fact, a rival coach once said he can take his'n and beat your'n, and then take your'n and beat his'n. My name is Tom Miller, current pastor of Central Assembly in Superior, Wisconsin, and former assistant coach as a sophomore in high school of a Pony League football team, along with 2 classmates, where the head coach would often look at us and wonder about the players we had assembled. This is Fuel for the Fire, volume 893. Is this the best we've got? I'm convinced Jesus had those moments too. Once in Matthew 16, while sailing across the Sea of Galilee, Jesus said, "Take heed and beware of the leaven of the Pharisees." The disciples, always a little slow to catch the metaphors, assumed it was because they had forgotten to bring bread. Now, this was shortly after Jesus miraculously fed thousands of people on 2 separate occasions. That's when he lifted his eyes toward his Father in heaven and said, "Is this the best we've got?" In Matthew 17, Jesus took Peter, James, and John on a hike up what would later be known as the Mount of Transfiguration. It was there Jesus, Moses, and Elijah appeared in their glorified bodies. Peter, not knowing what to say, said, "I'll pitch some tents and we'll go camping." Jesus looked at his Father and said, "Is this the best we've got?" Another less than sterling moment came when the disciples tried to keep children away from Jesus, like he didn't like kids. Jesus shook his head and muttered, "Is this the best we've got?" They were unable to cast out demons. They asked Jesus if they could sit by him in heaven and fled at the crucifixion like roaches when you turn the lights on. Is this the best we've got? It's funny until I realize I'm far more pathetic than the disciples ever were. Once our baptismal overflowed into the hallway, causing hundreds of dollars of damage. Jesus saw me scrambling to figure it out and said to his Father, "Is this the best we've got?" Another time, on the night before our church picnic, with huge inflatable jump houses ready to go and tons of food prepared, a water pipe broke outside our main entrance. By Sunday morning, we had no running water and 1 porta potty in place for the day's events. Worst of all, we nearly turned our yard into a lagoon as we could not find the shutoff valve located somewhere on church property. Jesus looked down at us, running around like the Keystone Cops, and said, "Is this the best we've got?" And then there was the time we got some guys together to put a new Spire on the roof of the sanctuary in the middle of the week. All was well until it started to rain as we gathered for Sunday service, and it leaked like a sieve. Jesus looked at his Father and said, "Is this the best we've got?" Still, somehow, church thrives. Our frailties and inadequacies do nothing but establish how great God is. The reality is, he can take his'n and beat your'n, and then take your'n and beat his'n. That's the coach we play for. That's the God we serve. That's the way I see it. And that's a little fuel for the fire. And remember, I love you guys.